Welcome to Planet MicroCap. I'm your host, Robert Kraft, and joining me today is the team from Turnium Technology Group. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is TTGI on the TSX Venture. Joining me from that team is Derek Spratt, CEO, as well as Ralph Garcea, Chairman of Turnium Technology Group. Gentlemen, thank you for joining me today. How you doing?
Great. Thank you for hosting us.
Thanks for having us, Bobby.
Absolutely. It's great to have you both here. And so, for context, actually, Turnium, you just presented at our Planet MicroCap Showcase Vancouver that took place on September 6th and 7th. I believe we have your webcast up on our YouTube channel. So for those that want the full picture of what's going on at Turnium, I invite you to go on the Planet MicroCap YouTube channel and check it out there. But, for the folks that maybe didn't get a chance to see the presentation or just want to learn more, Derek, coming to you first here, can you give us that quick overview and history of the company?
Yes, sure. It's called software-defined wide area networking. It's a bit chewy, but think of the internet as more than just the physical fiber optics or copper cable that comes into your business or your home. And nowadays with 5G networking, the latest networking specs, everything is becoming software-defined. So it's the ability to deploy a network automatically and to be able to reconfigure it on the fly and to manage the data streams efficiently. And so we're in this business, and it's a bit of a unique business because we don't sell directly to customers. Typically, we are the special sauce that goes inside other people's products. So it's a white label solution. And what separates us from the big boys, the Ciscos of the world, is we are selling to the low end of the market and going into things like high volume point of sale environments and anywhere where the price point is sensitive, but we still want to have all this great software-defined networking capability. So it's a great story, and we sell around the world and have partners around the world that help us with those sales.
Very good. And then Ralph, coming to you on this one, when you think about, putting this company all together, because I've known you a long time, right? So I'm pretty, if I correct me if I'm wrong, you helped put this whole thing together. So tell me a little bit about the background there and how this all came to be, now publicly traded, the whole deal.
Yeah, I mean, Derek reached out to me just over 2 years ago to see if there was an opportunity, one, to help the company go public through the RTO. And two, if there was an opportunity I'm also on the board of Converge Technology, to see if there was an opportunity there for us to work with Turnium and potentially become a reseller for their SD-WAN product. And that's where, I saw opportunities on both ends. So came involved with the company. We went through the RTO last summer, started trading in June of last year. And now we're working with some large partners globally to become resellers of our product, where they can install and manage it on a managed services basis on the SD-WAN side. And from our perspective, being a SaaS model, we'll grow the business on a per month charge, and work with our partners to actually roll it out to our customers globally.
Very good. And so, Derek, what's your background? I mean, clearly, correct me if I'm wrong, you're the founder of this company as well, right?
Nope, not the founder.
Okay.
Garnett's the founder. I worked with John for about 4 years on this, just helping build this company and make some strategic decisions. So my background is Queens Electrical Engineering, 1983. I've been in the business, really of public companies and CEO size of the business since the early 1990s. And I've done a couple of stints in venture capital as well, running VC firms. So I've definitely still operationally focused. My heart and soul is in building businesses. But I learned along the way that if you want to build a business, you need to have relationships with people like Ralph Garcea and yourselves and people in the capital markets and in market investor relations. And, I really enjoy this. Actually, it's like the bigger picture. It's the more complicated problem to solve. So I'm working with the management team and the board and the investors to do some of these strategic things that Ralph has been talking about. So there's some big stuff cooking. And, it's a $6 million a year run rate right now, but we're, looking at a strategic transaction that'll get us into the mid-20s, right off the gate, and then into the $40-50 million range next year if everything goes well.
So, Derek, one question, I'm coming right back to you on this one. And this is one of my favorite questions that, I've had a few investors come on my podcast and they love asking this to management team. So I'm gonna try it out with you here. So looking at Turnium, why Turnium and why now? When you're looking at the competitive landscape and how the company will win and beat some of your competitors over time?
Well, I have to bring up a negative. So we actually carried debt on our books for several years, a couple $1 million in debt. And we just literally last month, and this is Ralph's heavy lifting mainly, we managed to get $3.5 million financing done and get that off of our books and clean up our balance sheet. So that's the first thing about why now, because techs haven't performed well in the public markets. It's been a tough time with COVID and with Ukraine and other things bearing down on us. And we have grown through that period. We've cleaned up the balance sheet. And after a bunch of like tightening the screws, you know, because we didn't raise the money we wanted to when we went public, now we've got a very lean, mean organization that's still been, you know, producing like a nice revenue growth curve. And now we've got the wind in our sails. So the stock is, you know, we listed at 56 cents. We've been trading at under 10 cents. You've probably heard this story before, but now all the risk has come out of this thing. And now we are really able to execute. And so that's why now. And in terms of like us versus competitors in the space, we are the only pure play in this space in that price sensitive lower end of the market. And we do a fantastic job of it. And all of a sudden, the IBMs, the Intels, the major telcos around the world are all saying, hey, we want to get to these price sensitive endpoints, this Internet of Things, all these things. Like, it's not just about major enterprise connectivity, it's about everything being connected. And you guys seem to have the special sauce. So it's our opportunity. It's time for us to really move quickly. So.
Very good. All right. So, I mean, to close this out here, Ralph, am I missing anything, or, you know, from what you can tell us, are there any value catalysts now moving forward? I think Derek alluded to a few. Yeah. So you want to close us?
Yeah. I mean, you know, in last May, we announced a merger with ActivePort out of Australia. They're also public. It'll be an all-share deal. We're just working through, you know, the mechanics of that transaction. Derek mentioned the combined revenue of both. You know, we're at 6 million. We just announced our best quarter ever for our Q3. ActivePort just announced their fiscal year. They're at about a 20 million Canadian run rate, so 26 million combined. And again, with the combined entities, we address both the SME market and, you know, the large retail footprints, 20,000 stores, where we can go in there with our product at, you know, $5 or $10 per month per line. And then ActivePort's business is really driven by the large global telcos, where their orchestration software will be installed in these platforms, and then they'll bring us in for that SD-WAN piece. ActivePort's been a partner of ours for years. They've actually built their orchestration product on top of our SD-WAN tech stack. So the merger makes a ton of sense, both from a technology perspective and a global footprint perspective. And again, our biggest catalyst was just getting rid of that the debt piece that was, you know, around our necks for the last 12 months. So with both those catalysts in, the debt's gone. We just did our raise, and this merger should close, you know, hopefully by the end of November.
And with that, Derek, come back to you on this one. Where can our audience go and find more information about Turnium Technology Group?
Our website, ttgi.io. That's also our trading symbol, and it's a great website. There's lots of good materials there to help explain the technology and to get you into the story better.
Very good. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe. I look forward to our next update.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you again.